Today we are going to discuss about Plant Kingdom in Diversity of Living World, Unit 1, Chapter 2 in Botany. So Plant Kingdom, how the plant kingdoms, that is the plants and animals are classified first in the earth. How they had classified means based on the nutrition, locomotion and presence or absence of the cell wall. So the plant capture their own food, that is they can prepare their own food with the help of light. So the light energy is converted to chemical energy. That process is called photosynthesis. And now we move on to classification of plants. So the plants now included under embryophyte. The embryophyte is divided into bryophyte and tracheophyte. This tracheophyte is divided into pteridophyte and spermatophyte. The spermatophyte divided into gymnospermy and angiospermy. So first the embryophyte. So it is divided into bryophyte and tracheophyta. The tracheophyta is divided into pteridophyta and spermatophyta. The spermatophyta divided into gymnospermy and angiospermy. And the total number of plant groups in the world and India. Plant group, world and India, number of known species. The survey had given by Singh P and Dash. Yes, 2017. Algae 40,000 in world and in India 7,357. Bryophytes 16,236 in world. In India 2,748. Pteridophytes 12,000 in the world and 1,289 in India. Gymnosperms 1,012 in world and 79 in India. Angiosperms 2,68,600 in world and 18,386 in India. And now the plant kingdom was classified, that is kingdom plantae or plant kingdom is classified into two based on the flowering, non-flowering. So cryptogams and phanerogams. So cryptogams means non-flowering plants. Phanerogams means flowering plants. So the cryptogams is classified into three: algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes. They are non-flowering plants. Phanerogams is classified into gymnospermy and angiospermy. They are flowering plants. Okay. So this is a classification of the plant kingdom. And the life cycle patterns in plants, alternation of generation. So the alternation of generation is common in plants. Okay, alternation means the haploid and diploid alternates in the life cycle of a plant. That is called alteration of generation. So haploid means 1n, that is gametophytic generation, and sporophytic generation is 2n. So haploid gametophytic generation is single n and sporophytic generation is diploid 2n alternates in the life cycle of the plants. That is called alternation of generation. The alternation of generation is divided into three life cycles. That is, the life cycle is of three types. Haplontic life cycle. Haplontic life cycle means the gametophytic phase is dominant, photosynthetic and independent. So it is dominant and it is photosynthetic and independent. But sporophytic phase is represented by the zygote. The zygote divides. The zygote is 2n, that is diploid in condition. It divides and restores the haploid spores, that is the haploid condition. So the zygotic phase is small, that is short-lived, and it is seen in volvax and Spirogyra. So you can see here this phase, that is starting from the spores to gametogenesis phase. It is single n haploid phase. So haplontic phase is dominant. It can able to prepare its own food. So that is gametophytic phase is dominant and the sporophytic phase 2n is very short-lived. So that type is called haplontic life cycle. Next is diplontic life cycle. Sporophytic phase is dominant, photosynthetic and independent. The gametophytic phase is represented by single to few celled gametophytes. So the gametes fuse to form zygote which developed into sporophyte. So example, fucus, gymnosperms and angiosperms. That is diplontic means the diploid phase, that is the sporophytic phase is dominant and the gametophytic phase is less, that is not too dominant as a sporophyte. So it forms zygote, that's all. So gametophytic is the zygote formation, till the zygote formation fuse to the gametes fuse to form zygote, and it is very few only it is present. You can see the dominant phase, sporophytic phase, it forms gametes. So after the gamete formation, here only it is haploid number single n, and after the zygote is formed, again it becomes diploid. So the diploid phase is dominant, so it is diplontic. Haplodiplontic life cycle. So both the phases, haploid as well as diploid phases dominant in that is they are equal. So that type is called haplodiplontic life cycle. So bryophytes and pteridophytes are the example, and it is an intermediate phase also between the haplontic and diplontic. The cycle is a haplodiplontic, no, it is an intermediate one. And in both, that is in a pterido and gymnosperm, in pterido and bryophytes, any one of the phase is dominant. In bryophytes, the gametophytic phase is dominant and sporophytic phase is short-lived. Whereas in pteridophytes, the sporophytic phase is dominant and gametophytic phase is short-lived, and it is involved in the formation of gametes only in the gametophytic phase. So we can see this is an haplodiplontic life cycle, and you can see the sporophytic, so the spores are formed through meiosis. After meiosis, the gametophyte phase starts. So first is the sporophyte, till meiosis the meiosis takes place, it becomes single end spores, and the gametophytic, it enters into the gamete and the gametogenesis forms, and when the fusion takes place, it becomes zygote. When the zygote it forms, that is the fusion of gametes comes itself, it enters into the sporophyte. So equally the haploid phase and the diploid phase are seen in this, and it is called haplodiplontic phase of life cycle. So three different types of life cycle are seen, and they took place alternatively in the life cycle of the plants. So thank you for watching the video. Give a thumbs up, share and subscribe to Science Easy Tech channel.